Most investors lock up their money for decades in 401ks, Roths, or brokerage accounts and cross their fingers the market and the IRS don't crash. But what if you could skip all of that? What if I told you there's a way to contribute $50,000 a year for just 10 years and quietly build a multi-million-dollar retirement account the IRS cannot touch, and you don't have to gamble on Wall Street or pray for tax breaks to make it happen? Now, here's the part that almost nobody believes. With this strategy, you don't have to wait 10 or 15 years to touch your money. You can access it immediately, day one, with no surrender penalties, no waiting games, and no IRS string attached. This isn't a Roth, it's not a 401k, and it's not some Wall Street gamble. It's a policy design pioneered by one of the oldest insurance companies in America, National Life Group. And it comes with a unique feature that turns your cash value into instant liquidity. And if you're a real estate investor, this is where it gets powerful, because it means you can fund the policy and immediately redirect that capital into buying rental properties while your money still compounds safely, tax-free, in a background. In the next few minutes, I'm going to walk through a real $50,000 per year, 10-year illustration for you. You'll see exactly how the numbers work, why National Life's balance sheet rider is a complete game changer, and why their living benefits are ranked the best in the country. And at the end, I'll reveal a free tool that models it all. But you'll have to stick with me to see what it is. Here's what you're about to discover in the next few minutes. How just $50,000 per year for 10 years can quietly snowball into multi-million-dollar tax-free wealth. Why National Life's balance sheet rider eliminates the number one frustration with IULs: surrender penalties, giving you immediate access to your money from day one. How savvy investors use this policy as a private bank, pooling capital for rental properties while their cash value keeps compounding untouched in the background. Why National Life's living benefits are ranked the best in the country, giving you tax-free cash access if life blindsides you with a cancer, heart attack, or chronic illness. How this single design can deliver six-figure tax-free retirement income with no contribution caps, no required withdrawals, and no IRS partnership stealing a share of your future. And most importantly, how this strategy gives you confidence that your money is safe, liquid, and working harder than Wall Street ever could. And by the end, you'll understand why high-income professionals and real estate investors are quietly moving away from Wall Street's roller coaster and toward a strategy that combines liquidity today, growth tomorrow, and protection for life. Hello, my name is Robert Balgach. I'm a founder and CEO of Black Swan Insurance Group. Since 2017, we've helped over 20,000 families protect and grow their wealth and have earned 800 plus 5-star Google reviews. We work with high-income professionals and investors, doctors, attorneys, tech executives, real estate entrepreneurs who've done everything right. They maxed their 401ks, funded Roths, bought term insurance. Yet, they still feel exposed to taxes, volatility, and the risk of outliving their money. That's where we come in. We don't sell cookie-cutter policies. We design precision-built strategies. Liquidity today, tax-free income tomorrow, and protection for life. And today, I'm going to show you exactly how National Life's Group unique $50,000 per year, 10-year design works, why it's different, and how it can give you an edge Wall Street simply can't. Before we dive into the numbers, let's meet the company, because the company behind your policy matters just as much as the design itself. National Life Group was founded in 1848 in Montpelier, Vermont. That's more than 175 years of uninterrupted history, making it one of the oldest and most trusted insurance companies in America. Think about that. They paid death claims through the Civil War, Great Depression, 2 world wars, the 2008 financial crisis, even the COVID-19 pandemic. While Wall Street firms came and went like shooting stars, National Life has been a lighthouse, steady, unshaken, and always keeping its promises. Today, they manage over $47 billion in assets and cover more than $43 billion in liabilities and have already delivered $6 billion in total benefits and promises kept to families across America. And the ratings back it up. A+ superior from AM Best, A+ strong from Standard & Poor's, and A1 good from Moody's. That's kind of financial backbone you want behind your retirement. And unlike carriers that only focus on paying after you're gone, National Life pioneers something revolutionary: living benefits. They were one of the first companies in the country to let clients access their death benefit while they're still alive, with things like cancer, heart attacks, or chronic illnesses. Today, they're widely recognized as the gold standard in living benefits nationwide. With a mission as simple as it is powerful: do good, be good, make good. National Life isn't just another insurance company. They're a 175-year-old financial institution built to weather storms and deliver when it matters the most. And that's the foundation behind the strategy we're about to break down today. And the part that makes this design so unique, it is the balance sheet rider. One of the biggest complaints I hear about IULs is this: hey, Robert, the money feels locked up. And they're right. With most IUL policies, you are handcuffed by surrender charges that last 10, sometimes 15 years. Try to touch your cash early, and the penalties got your account. That's why National Life's design is so powerful. They built in the balance sheet rider, and it completely rewrites the rules. With this rider, every dollar you put in shows up as a usable capital on your balance sheet, immediate. You can borrow or withdraw against it from day one. No surrender penalties, no waiting games. Your money stays liquid, even while it's compounding. Here's the picture. Most policies are like planting an orchard and being told you cannot taste the fruit for 15 years. With National Life, you plant the orchard and you're already picking apples in year one, while the trees keep growing for decades. And for real estate investors, this is a complete unlock. You can fund the policy, then immediately use the same capital for rental property down payment, while your policy dollars keep earning behind the scenes. It's not either or anymore. It's both. Liquidity today, compounding tomorrow, and freedom to put your money to work without the fine print holding you back. By the way, if you're wondering how this could work for your own numbers, your age, your income, we built a free tool called the IUL Custom GPT. Think of it as having a strategist in your pocket 24/7. Plug in your info, and in less than 60 seconds, you'll see how a design like this could look for you. The link is in the description. Now let's move from theory to the math, because numbers don't lie. Here's what happens when you contribute $50,000 per year for 10 years. That's a total of $500,000 out of your pocket. By year 10, at age 45, you contributed $500,000, and your cash value is $601,812, with a death benefit around $1.46 million. At age 65, in year 20, the policy shows $1,085,438 in cash value, with a projected death benefit of $1.94 million. At age 75, year 30, the cash value grows to about $2.1 million, while the policy still provides $910,000 net death benefit, even after starting tax-free income distributions. And here's where it gets really powerful. Beginning around retirement age, this policy is designed to pay out roughly $100,000 of tax-free income every single year for decades, while still leaving behind a 7-figure legacy. These aren't the numbers I pulled from thin air. They're straight from the National Life's official illustration. $500,000 in contributions turns into multi-millions of accessible cash value, steady tax-free income, and a lasting death benefit. All without market losses, all without IRS handcuffs, and thanks to the balance sheet rider, with liquidity available immediately. Now let's go deeper, because it's not just about how much you put in, it's about how your money grows once it's there. National Life gives you several ways to link your cash value to the market, and each one has its own personality. Let me show you. The uncapped runner, unlimited road ahead. Picture yourself running a marathon with no finish line. That's the US pace setter strategy. Instead of capping your upside, he gives you 245% participation in the index. So if the index posts a 10% gain, your credit interest could be over 24%. No ceiling, just wide open growth. The balanced navigator, smooth flight. Now, imagine you're piloting a plane. You don't want any turbulence, you want steady air. That's the balanced trend strategy. With 225% participation, it tracks multiple asset classes to smooth out volatility. You will still capture strong upside, but with less chop along the way. The cap sprinter, short bursts, big safety. Next up, the S&P 500 cap focus. This is the sprinter lane. You get a cap around 9.25% and 105% participation. In a hot year, say the market jumps 20%, you'll top out just above 9%. But in a crash, you don't lose a penny. Your floor is still zero. So whether you're a marathon runner, a steady navigator, or a sprinter, National Life gives you a choice. And no matter which track you choose, they all share the same DNA, a 0% floor that protects you from losses. Zero isn't nothing. Zero is the protection. Zero is your hero. Now let's talk about one of the biggest reasons National Life has separated itself from almost every other carrier in America. Their living benefits. These aren't gimmicks. They're built-in riders that let you access your death benefit early if life throws you a curveball. Most people think life insurance only pays when you die. But with National Life, your policy becomes a living safety net you can draw from, tax-free, while you're still alive. And here's why it matters. A stroke occurs every 40 seconds in the United States. 6 in 10 Americans live with at least one chronic disease. Nearly 2 million new cancer cases are expected this year alone. And over 6.5 million Americans are living with Alzheimer's dementia. This isn't theory. These are real risks. And National Life's riders are designed to protect you from them. Terminal illness. Access your death benefit if diagnosed with an illness expected to result in death within 24 months. No waiting period, just one lump sum tax-free payment. Chronic illness. If you cannot perform 2 out of 6 activities of daily living, or if you're cognitively impaired, you can access benefits up to 30 days. And doctor certification is required for 90 days. Alzheimer's disease. Accelerated benefits if diagnosed with Alzheimer's. Here's the list of all the critical illnesses covered. ALS, aortic graft surgery, aplastic anemia, blindness, cancer, cystic fibrosis, end-stage renal failure, heart attack, heart valve replacement, major organ transplant, motor neuron disease, stroke, sudden cardiac arrest, critical injuries, coma, paralysis, severe burns, traumatic brain injuries. And here's the best part. There is no additional charge for these riders. They're included. That means with National Life, you're not just protecting your family's future, you're protecting yourself while you're still alive. Imagine the peace of mind knowing that if life blindsides you with cancer, stroke, or serious injury, you could instantly unlock hundreds of thousands of dollars from your policy, tax-free, without draining your hard-earned savings or selling off assets in a fire sale. That's why National Life's living benefits are considered the gold standards in the industry. It's not just life insurance. It's a life assurance. Let me paint you a picture with a real example how this balance sheet writer can help a real estate investor. Meet Jason, 45-year-old, a full-time real estate investor earning about $250,000 a year. On paper, he's doing everything right. A handful of rentals, a maxed out 401k, and Roth. But here's his frustration. Every time he locks money into a retirement account, he feels untouchable. And he wants liquidity for new deals without sacrificing long-term wealth. So Jason sets up a National Life policy, funding a $50,000 a year for 10 years. Total outlay, $500,000. But thanks to the balance sheet writer, he doesn't have to wait 10 or 15 years to use it. From year one, the money shows up as available capital, ready for his next investment. And here's what Jason actually does. He pulls $40,000 from the policy in year one and uses it as a down payment on a $200,000 rental property. That property rents for $1,800 a month, about $21,000 a year in gross rent. And after expenses, Jason nets about $6,000 a year in positive cash flow, income that grows alongside equity and appreciation. So now Jason dollars are doing 2 jobs at once. Inside the policy, they are compounding tax-free, and outside the policy, the same money is buying him steady income, equity, and appreciation. He's no longer forced to choose between retirement savings or investing today. He gets both. Fast forward 20 years. At age 65, Jason's $500,000 contribution has grown to over $1.2 million in cash value, with a death benefit approaching $2 million. That sets him up for 6 figures of tax-free retirement income every single year, while his rental portfolio is still throwing off monthly income. And here's the kicker. Even after decades of tax-free withdrawals, Jason's family still receives a 7-figure tax-free legacy when he passes. He enjoys the wealth in his lifetime and still lives well behind him. That's why real estate investors love this structure. It turns an insurance policy into a private bank, funding today's opportunities, tomorrow's retirement, and a permanent legacy, all with the same dollars. Now, if you're listening and thinking, this all sounds too good to be true, good. That means you're sharp. So let's deal with the biggest objections head on. Objection number 1, aren't the fees high? That's the first thing most people ask. So let's look at the real numbers from this exact illustration. In year 1, Jason contributes $50,000. After insurance costs and policy charges, his cash value is $45,320. That means about $4,600 went to his cost, roughly 9%. By year 2, after $100,000 in contribution, his cash value is $93,241. So the costs have already dropped closer to 6 or 7%. By year 5, something big happens. Jason has paid in $250,000, but his cash value is already over $250,000. From that point forward, the policy is ahead and the compounding starts to outpace the charges. So yes, there are fees in the early years, but they fade fast. And compare that to the Wall Street silent fees, the 1% advisory fee, find expenses, and then the IRS taking 20 to 40% of your growth. That's the real wealth killer. Here, you're trading a small temporary cost for decades of tax-free growth, liquidity, and protection. That's why the wealthy have used this structure for over a century. Objection number 2, isn't this just life insurance? Technically, yes, but not the kind you're picturing. This isn't about dying. It's about creating a living wealth engine. You get tax-free compounding, immediate liquidity through the balance sheet rider, living benefits if life throws you a curveball, and yes, you still live a tax-free legacy. Wall Street sells you volatility. This gives you certainty. Objection number 3, this is too good to be true. Is this even legal? Absolutely. This isn't a loophole. It's written directly into the tax code. IRS section 7702. Banks use it. Fortune 500 CEOs use it. Even members of Congress use it. If it's good enough for them, it's good enough for us. So yes, there are costs. Yes, it's technically life insurance. And yes, it's 100% legal. The only question is, do you want to keep riding Wall Street's roller coaster and handing an IRS a blank check? Or you finally use the same strategy the wealthy have quietly trusted for generations? Now, fast forward with me. You're 65 years old, and while your friends are glued to CNBC, praying the market doesn't tank right before they retire, you're pulling 6 figures of tax-free income every year from your policy. Smooth, predictable, untaxed. Your Social Security check stays intact, your Medicare premiums don't spike, and you never wonder if Congress is going to change the rules on your retirement. Meanwhile, your policy is still protecting your family. Even after the decades of tax-free withdrawals, there's a 7-figure death benefit locked in, completely tax-free for your spouse, your kids, or your grandkids. That means your money worked for you while you live, and it keeps working long after you're gone. Retirement income today, tax-free legacy tomorrow, and complete peace of mind in between. And when you're gone, your kids aren't inheriting a tax bill. They're inheriting freedom. Before we wrap up, let's quickly recap what you just learned. Because you now know more about Index Universal Life that most advisors will ever tell you. You saw how just $50,000 a year for 10 years can quietly grow into multi-million-dollar tax-free wealth. You discover how National Life's balance sheet rider gives you immediate liquidity from day one. No surrender charges, no waiting games. You learn how real estate investors like Jason use this strategy as a private bank, pooling capital for rentals while their policy dollars keep compounding untouched in the background. You saw why National Life's living benefits are considered the gold standard, protecting you not just when you die, but while you live. And you learn how this design can deliver 6 figures of tax-free income in retirement while still leaving behind a 7-figure legacy for your family. Bottom line, you now know how to create liquidity today, growth tomorrow, and protection for life, all with the same dollars. So now that you've seen the numbers, the balance sheet rider, and the real-world power of this design, the next step is simple. Go to the taxfreewealthblueprint.com and book a private strategy session with me or my team. We'll walk through your numbers, your goals, and design a plan tailored to you. No generic charts, no sales pitch, just clarity on whether this strategy fits your future. And if you want to keep building your knowledge about this topic, just click on a video that just popped up on your screen, How to Max an IUL. In it, I'll show you exactly how the wealthy squeeze every ounce of tax-free growth out of these policies while avoiding the traps that sinks average plans. Because at the end of the day, not what you earn, it's what you keep. Enjoy the ride.